Eagles quarterback Jalen Hurts is dealing with a shoulder injury. That's the very latest from our NFL insider, Jonathan Jones. Hurts was injured in Sunday's win over the Chicago Bears, and that injury has now put Hurts' status in doubt for Saturday's Christmas Eve showdown with the Dallas Cowboys. Now, if Hurts can't play, it means that Gardner Minshew would likely get the call. All right, we are bringing in Brady Quinn, joining us here on CBS Sports HQ to break down what this means if Jalen Hurts cannot play. I guess the biggest impact is, what does this mean for Philly in terms of the NFC and their playoff picture if Jalen Hurts is out for this game against the Cowboys?
I think there's two thoughts in the short term, and that's really looking at, trying to win the NFC East, which I think everyone assumes they're going to. I think you need Dallas to win out, Philly to lose out, and that most likely will not take place. So Philly's going to win the NFC East. And then it comes down to the number one overall seed. You've got the San Francisco 49ers nipping at their heels right now with the way Brock Purdy's been able to lead them in the absence of Jimmy Garoppolo. And so that's what you don't want to give up, is the potential to have that first-round bye and then home field advantage throughout. So you want to be able to stay the course there, and you can't afford to drop any games, especially the way the 49ers have looked at this point, maybe even the Minnesota Vikings for that matter. That being said, though, I think you got to be concerned, too, about a playoff run. With the way Jalen Hurts plays and his style, he's going to impact the rushing attack as well. And if he's not 100% throughout the course of the playoffs, do you have the best chance of being able to move on and make your way to another Super Bowl, which Howie Roseman's very familiar with, but Nick Sirianni's not. So how does Nick Sirianni manage this? How does Jalen Hurts manage this? This to me is a big decision as far as how they look at this week. Because remember, it's a 6-week recovery for him. It's not your normal 7 weeks. They play Christmas Eve day on Saturday, so a little bit different here. I know it's early in the week on Monday, but definitely something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, Cowboys, Saints, and the Giants are left on their schedule. I want to talk more about Jalen Hurts and what this means for the MVP conversation. One of the favorites to win it, and we were talking a little bit in the break, if he had a great game against the Cowboys on Christmas Eve, maybe that would kind of solidify it for him. According to Caesars, he is the favorite at minus 145 there. What do you think it means if he doesn't play? Does that really impact his odds of winning MVP?
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a very, very tight race. He might be at the top now to win it, but if all of a sudden he takes a week off or maybe 2 weeks off, depending on how this looks, and you give Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, and Joe Burrow, who are in a tight race with him, down the stretch an opportunity, statistically speaking, those guys might come out with as good, if not better, stats if that was the case. I think the other thing is you look for those big games, those big moments. You're going to have a huge audience for this upcoming week's game. And so if he misses that versus Dallas, which is, America's team, you lose one of those opportunities. We're going to get to see Joe Burrow and Josh Allen score off here in a couple of weeks. That's a big one in the context of the potential MVP race, the AFC seeding in general. So they're going to have those opportunities to kind of prove themselves. It would take away one of those chances on a national stage, I think, to really see what Jalen Hurts is capable of doing versus one of the best teams in the NFC. So there's no doubt it played impact. And look, at some point, they may have to make a decision what's more important, short-term or the long-term goal, winning a Super Bowl. I think we know how they're going to manage that if that's the case. But he could be forfeiting a potential chance of winning the MVP if that's the case.
All right, so the guy who's going to be under center if Hurts is out is Gardner Minshew. He's 1-1 as a starter for Philly. Are there enough weapons around Gardner Minshew? Do you trust him, or how much faith, I guess I should say, do you have in him if it is him that gets the call?
A ton of faith. I mean, it's going to be him if he gets the call.
Yeah.
He is the backup. And look, they've got a ton of talent. It's not so much even if it's what's around him. It's can he utilize them? Can he operate within this offense? He doesn't have the same type of running ability that Jalen Hurts does. Now, he is capable as a runner, but, we show the win-loss record. Well, that win-loss record has a lot more to do with where he was playing. A lot of the starts came, basically coming in week one after Nick Foles gets banged up and Gardner Minshew, as a 6th-round pick as a rookie, was thrust into the start for the Jacksonville Jaguars. So a lot of those losses came then, but he played his tail off. That's one of the reasons why you see he almost has a 4-to-1 touchdown interception ratio, and he's thrown for a decent amount of yards, and he's been great against the spread throughout the course of his career. So you still give him a shot to win that game. He's a fiery guy. He's a ton of fun to watch. So whether it's Hurts or Minshew, I might still give Philly the edge right now based on how they've been playing. They've been the most consistent, complete team of any team we've seen this season.
All right, we want to talk about the line moving a little bit for the Eagles. They were -3, and now they're actually +6 in this matchup. So what do you have to say, I guess, for bettors from a betting perspective? What would you do here?
Well, I looked at the line this morning, and actually Dallas was favored by, I think, 1.5.
Okay.
With this news, you're getting an inclination that obviously people are expecting it will be Gardner Minshew. And again, I would not count out Gardner Minshew or this team, especially the way the Dallas Cowboys looked the last 2 weeks. They should have lost to Houston. They were lucky Houston's was that bad, really, in the red zone offense to not, get a win there. And then this past week versus Jacksonville with that loss, defensively, a bunch of points scored on them. Offensively, had a hard time. Dak has at least taken care of the football. So Dallas hasn't been playing that well. I would be on the side of taking the points in Philly the way they've been, playing, even if it wasn't Jalen Hurts as starting quarterback.
All right, Brady Quinn, thank you so much breaking down that breaking news out of the NFL where the Eagles QB Jalen Hurts is dealing with a shoulder injury and is questionable against that Christmas Eve matchup against the Cowboys. We're going to look at the fantasy angle.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.